Morning peeps, good morning everyone. How's everyone doing? Hopefully you guys are all doing well. Don't forget, if you're new to the channel, like, share, subscribe. Just a quick heads up, everything we film on this channel going forward will now be available as a podcast. I know it's taken a while. A lot of you guys have been asking for this for ages. My apologies, people, but better late than never. It'll all be under my name, Ade Oladipo, so the Ade and G-Man stuff will be there. What I film here by myself will be there. And we have a few more new things coming in the next few weeks as well. With regards to those new things, before committing to them, I did want to get the reaction and listen to some feedback from the Ade and G-Man stuff. The feedback's been good, the reaction's been good. So I'm like, okay, let's kind of do these new stuff as well. It has taken a lot longer than expected, but it is just me, people. It's a one-man army. And as you guys know, I've been so busy with DAZN, TalkSport, Amazon, and other bits as well. So yeah, that's probably why it hasn't already sort of got off the ground, but it will be available in the next few weeks, and I think you guys will like it. I don't even know how it works with regards to podcast. Do you subscribe to me? But those of you that do listen to podcast, you'll know exactly what to do. And again, my name, Ade Oladipo. All right, more developments with regards to TKO boxing. Dana White did a post fight press conference, UFC, I think it was 313 on the weekend, and he was obviously asked a lot of questions about TKO boxing. One of the biggest things to come out of that little post-fight presser was that he wants fewer weight classes. Interesting. Boxing has, I think, 18 weight classes now, 17 recognized by every governing body. I think 18 is the bridgerweight. Oh yeah, the 18th one is the bridgerweight division, which isn't recognized by everyone. But yeah, 17 weight classes, and some might say that is too many. Boxing originally was 8 weight classes. The 8 original ones were flyweight, bantamweight, featherweight, lightweight, welterweight, middleweight, light heavyweight, and heavyweight. And then you got the junior ones of all those divisions to make up the numbers to where we are now. I can kind of get why Dana's saying this. It kind of goes back to the UFC connection with Dana. Obviously, in the UFC, there are fewer weight classes and the jumps are a lot bigger. I mean, you look at the jump, for example, from welterweight, which is 170 pounds to them, to middleweight, which is 185 pounds. And then from middleweight to light heavyweight is 20 pounds. So it's light heavyweight is 205 pounds. So he's probably looking at those jumps and think, how the hell in boxing do we have 118? I mean, this is just an example. 118, 122, 126, 130. I mean, that's all separated by 12 pounds. And that's 4 weight classes, I think. So I can kind of see what he's getting at. The problem is, all these weight classes are now well and truly established. Well and truly established. I mean, what do? Wipe people's records from the history books? That Manny Pacquiao went for a lot of those weight classes, hence why he is a multi-weight world champion. So I'm not quite sure what happens here. I do believe the TKO Boxing League will have fewer weight classes. What weight classes that is, I don't know. Does he go back to the original 8? Does he even make it smaller than that? I mean, I'm honestly, I'm not quite sure. But you look at some of the newer weight classes, if you like, and those weight classes have been the most intriguing of recent. Cruiserweight division, like a great weight class. No one's saying that that's not a good weight class. I mean, Alexander Usyk came from that. You got like Jar Pataya, who's a fantastic fighter in that weight class. I mean, the super middleweight division. I mean, the first event, I think, rumored to happen for TKO is a super middleweight contest between Crawford and Canelo. Do you all of a sudden want to get rid of that weight class? So look, it's again, we're all filling in the gaps as we get information. I can't wait till they officially announce the weight classes, how this thing looks, and the first fighters that sign up to it. Honestly, I can't wait. I almost feel like there needs to be a proper press conference, because all we got was Dana White, Turki Al-Sheikh, and the interviewer from Ring Magazine. We need like a proper press conference, the press asking questions, so not just statements being read out, the press asking questions, and then we can all work out whether or not this thing's going to be successful or not. All right, I did want to talk about the heavyweight division. Heavyweight division's in, I think, a bit of a weird place at the moment, mainly because we didn't get Parker versus Dubois. So there seems to be this kind of logjam right at the very top of the heavyweight division. I think Alexander Usyk's now waiting to find out who he's going to fight next. Is it going to be Daniel Dubois versus Joseph Parker? That was supposed to happen. What's AJ doing? AJ hasn't fought since September. I mean, we are now in March. If AJ is going to fight in the summer, you kind of need an announcement now. I mean, is Tyson Fury really retired or is he coming back? There's quite a lot going on. Let's start with the number one in the division, the unified heavyweight champion, Alexander Usyk, one of the greatest fighters, I think, of all time. Who should he fight? It's a difficult one, right? I mean, I don't necessarily know if Alexander Usyk cares about becoming undisputed again. He's done that. So whereas some might say, oh, well, Daniel Dubois to become undisputed, I don't think that's Alexander Usyk's chase right now. I mean, he mentioned fighting Alex Pereira, who lost on the weekend, an MMA guy. So I think his thing now is just about having fun fights and the fights that make him the most money. When you look at the heavyweight landscape, what fight makes him the most money? It actually probably is Daniel Dubois. I think it is. I think His Excellency likes Daniel Dubois. Daniel Dubois is now, I don't know if he's a superstar, but he's getting very close to becoming that. And they have history, and their history has a bit of, I mean, there's conspiracy theorists are running wild with their history, right? Was it a low blow? Wasn't it a low blow? And Daniel Dubois, since that fight, is not the same Daniel Dubois. He's a lot better, so much more confident. That was his first fight under Don Charles. They've now had a few more fight camps. They understand each other as well. That team is like that now. So that probably is the biggest fight to be made that makes sense. I mean, AJ is a big money fight, but that doesn't make any sense. So what does that mean for Parker? What does that mean for Parker? I do not know. I can tell you what I think. Let me tell you what I think happens, right? And this is just me. This isn't no inside information. This is what I think happens in the next few months. I think Parker fights Cabiel. I really do. Parker won't like hearing that, but I think Joseph Parker fights Cabiel. I think Daniel Dubois fights Alexander Usyk, and I think Tyson Fury fights AJ, and that fight's on Netflix as part of TKO. That's what I think happens. I really do think that happens. I think that Fury will fight AJ. I think there is, look, they've both made ridiculous amounts of money, but I think there is so much money on the table for both. I'd be shocked if they say, nah. So I think AJ does fight Tyson Fury in the summer. I think they go straight to Dubois versus Alexander Usyk. I think they go straight to it. It's the only fight that actually makes sense for Alexander Usyk, and it's the biggest money fight outside of fighting Fury again, which won't happen, and fighting AJ, which doesn't make sense. And unfortunately for Joseph Parker and for Agit Cabiel, I don't think they have a title fight. The only way they have a title fight, and it could happen, is if Alexander Usyk gets stripped or vacates, which could happen. Again, I don't think the belts mean much to Alexander Usyk at this stage of his career. He's been an undisputed cruiserweight. He's been undisputed heavyweight. You can now give out the belts. Now it's just about, we know who number one is. We know, I think, who number two is. I don't think that requires that many belts. Just get it on. So you could have a situation where Parker has said, look, I want to fight for a world title. So has Agit Cabiel. And it could be a case of, okay, here's your world title then. Here's your world title. So I think that's what's going to happen. Could be wrong. Could be so wrong. None of those fights could happen. But I can't help but feel that is the case. Martin Bakole would have been in the mix if we hadn't already seen the Joseph Parker fight and the way it played out. I think Martin Bakole is going to have to put in a really good performance against F.A. Jagba. Then he might be in the mix. I don't know what's going on with Deontay Wilder. I just wonder if we've lost a bit with Zhilei Zhang because of, not necessarily because of a defeat, but because of a stoppage. So yeah, there's a lot going on in the heavyweight division. And I think that's what it might look like in the next 6 or 7 months. Sticking to the heavyweight division, David Adeleye and Jimmy TKV will contest the British heavyweight title. So that's now been vacated by Fabio Wardley. And Fabio Wardley rumoured to be fighting Kubrat Pulev. Don't mind it. Not super excited about that for some weird reason, but I don't mind it. I think the Adelaide TKV fight is going to be a good one. I hear so much about TKV, but that's more related to sparring. He needs to transfer that into the bright lights of a real fight, but we'll see. Terence Crawford, the master of inactivity. Yeah, like Crawford he's kind of created this thing where, I like to say fighters that stay busy are the best fighters, right? I mean, in recent years, Danny Dubois, again, another good example, someone that has been very busy and we can see the improvements. There's a good argument though, as you get older, do you take less fights, so less wear and tear on your body? And remember, it isn't just the fights, it's the lead up to the fights. It's the sparring, it's getting your body in tip-top condition. I mean, that takes a lot out on your body. Do you do less of that and just have a fight a year, which Crawford's been doing? Is that the best route? Or is the best route staying active and having 2 or 3 fights a year? I guess the only answer is whatever works for you. And for Crawford, he's literally had 1 fight. Let me quickly bring up Crawford's resume. Crawford, I believe, has had 1 fight a year for the last 6 years, I think. So since he turned 33, this guy's had 1 fight a year. Okay, so, 2 fights in 2019, Amir Khan and Kavialaskus. 1 fight in 2020. Obviously, 2020 and 2021 were obviously COVID years, so it was difficult. 1 fight in 2020, Carl Brook. 1 fight in 2021, Sean Porter. 1 fight in 2022, Avanesian. 1 fight in 23, Errol Spence. 1 fight in 24, Israel Majimov. And it will be 1 fight in 25, which is Canelo. This guy has 1 fight a year. And, he's unbeaten. He's a double undisputed. So it seems to be working for him. By the way, I've got to mention this because it's so random. Kell Brook and Ebony Bridges. This isn't the type of show where you mention stuff like that, but it just came to my mind. I was like, huh? What? Where's this? Honestly, I baffled by it. But look, congratulations to them both. It just came from nowhere. And yeah, Kell Brook's a dad. Ebony Bridges and Kell Brook. Don't know what to make of it. I guess there's nothing to make of it, right? I just assumed that Kell was with his missus, like that. That we've seen him with for years. I don't know. All right. Anything else before we pass? Before we pass, I don't know what I was going to say. Anything else before we wrap? I think that is it. Yeah, I think that's it. All right, guys, girls, thank you very, very much. And I will see you, or you can listen to me now on the next one.